Good morning and welcome to the Crawford County Commissioners Work Session for September 4th. We'll start with the Juvenile Probation Office.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
I'm here requesting the approval of the maintenance and supply agreement with Hagen Business Machines of Meadville. The rate per page increase will be from 0076 to 0078. The supplies also included in the agreement are the drum, the developer, and the toner.
Okay.
The second item I have is to seek approval of the PCCD VOJO grant. This grant is 1 year this year. It will run from 1/1 of 2025 to 12/31 of 2025 in the amount of $19,448. This helps support the victim witness coordinator position.
Okay. Thank you. District Attorney. Morning, Heidi.
Paula DiGiacomo's not here. She's in court today. So my name's Heidi Hunter.
How are you?
I work in the DA's office with victims. I'm also here for approval of the PCCD grant for the RASA grant in the amount of $123,430. And this also goes to help provide services to victims and fund the position of the victim witness coordinator and assistant victim witness coordinator in our office.
Any questions for Heidi?
No.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
The Register and Recorder.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Morning,
Beth.
Beth.
Right. I'm here to request approval of the purchase of an easy file storage cabinet to replace the older originals cabinet, and the amount for the purchase would be $4,089.73. This purchase will be paid for with Recorder of Deeds Records Improvement Funds.
Okay.
Any questions for Beth? Thank you, Beth.
Thanks.
The Chief Assessor.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Or Mr.
Hi,
Gallo.
Joe.
You have before you a petition for tax refund for 2023 and 2024 to Riverside Brewing LLC due to the court order resulting from the assessment appeal, and then you should have a breakdown of the county library taxes based on the resulting assessment adjustment.
Do you have that right?
I do not.
Not.
This seems very deja vu. This seems like
Yikes.
I was wondering the same thing. Unless it's very, very small.
What's
Like-
that?
this is what I'm somewhat interested in seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Joe?
No.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shell, on behalf of Greg Beveridge today.
Yes, Director Beveridge was unable to be here this morning. He wants to approve the construction of 5 concrete bollards in front of the Public Safety Building by the Gildea Group at the cost of $9,900. Wireless funds will be used to cover that expense. This is not a budgeted item.
Only one question, Scott. We can make sure you got quotes for those, was all. I
Yes.
just don't know. Thank you.
Are those the removable, are they permanent or removable?
These are permanent. These are like the poles
Yeah.
that they put around so cars can't run into the.
Right, but they're permanent, they're not removable.
They are permanent, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Approve the purchase of a wireless cradle point for the backup 911 center from FirstNet at the cost of $1,229.99. This is not a current budgeted item. And then approve the contract with FirstNet for data device delivery and a static IP address for the backup 911 center at the cost of $479.88 annually.
Okay. Thank you. Just check on that one thing for the
Yeah,
quotes.
we will.
Thank you. County maintenance? Well, you're all a step behind today. Huh? Oh, you're okay?
Ask and ratify approval to pay an invoice to Brian Noah, the project manager, for professional service from August 1st to August 31st of 2024 for $292.50.
Okay.
Ask and ratify approval to pay Canadota Security. This is to replace a security camera at the Gate 3 at the fairgrounds for $685.
Okay,
And
That's
that's,
been, I'm sorry, that's been completed already.
yeah, yeah, once they came and found it, they just switched it out with a new one.
it actually
Yeah,
occurred
hence
during the
rest.
fair, and they had need to look at that, and that's
Yeah.
when Mark notified them that it was not working.
That was just the day before, so it was good
Got
to
it.
get it done while they were there. Ask approval to pay ramp construction for pay application number 2, the final payment on the Youth Show Arena roof project at the fairgrounds for $41,800.
Okay, any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
County planning? Morning,
Hi,
Sam.
Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hello. Request approval of payment from, to R.A. Johnson Electric for reimbursements number 3 through 5, totaling $5,976 for training wages associated with the workforce and retention program. This is non-budgeted and comes out of the whole home repair program. Request approval of payment to Vote Heating and Cooling for reimbursement number 15, totaling $1,280 for training wages, and there's a correction here, Commissioners. This is training wages associated with Construction Industry Workforce Program, so it's CIWP. This is non-budgeted and is paid for out of whole home repair. Request approval of payment to Ferguson Construction Company for reimbursement number 5, totaling $720 for training wages associated with the Workforce and Retention Program, also non-budgeted, also paid for out of whole home repair program. We request approval to pay the July 2024 invoice from Dyson Helmy Engineering in the amount of $3,259.27 for engineering services for Carl Gurdon Park. This is a non-budgeted item and is paid for out of the fiscal year 2022 CDBG program. Request approval to pay invoice number 202408550 from LSSE in the amount of $5,050 for engineering services for the Conneautville Stormwater Improvement Project. This is non-budgeted, and this is paid for out of the county's fiscal year 20 CDBG. And then we would request to ratify approval of a contract between Crawford County, Sturdy Boots, and homeowner number 002 for home repairs through the whole home repair program. And again, request the ratification of a contract between Crawford County, Fuller Building Group, and homeowner number 003 for home repairs through the whole home repair program.
Any questions for Samantha?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Human Services.
Good morning.
Morning,
Hi,
Sue.
Good morning.
I'm requesting ratification of the contract with Annie's Flooring and Commercial Services LLC for our fiscal year 24-25 cleaning contract, including our file room and legal suite. The new agreement is for $2,762 a month, with a total cost to the county of $414.05.
Okay.
Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to Common Roots for 502 loan class, rental housing development finance, and real estate finance training. The total cost is $3,040. There is no cost to the county, paid for with the Community Mental Health Services Block Grant Training Funds. Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to Dell Incorporated for the purchase of a replacement laptop. The total cost is $1,069.17. The cost to the county is $57.08. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS contract with Auberly for independent living services. The independent living maximum is based upon the IL award amount on our approval final allocation letter, and it's $525,000 max. The cost to the county is $78,750 max. Requesting approval of the F1 amendment to the fiscal year 24-25 CYS JP contract with BCL Partners LLC, doing business as Leading Youth for Excellence for transportation services. JPL has a kid placed at the Providers Life Center, and she is scheduled for an adjudication hearing on September 4th and has requested to appear in person. JPO is required to accommodate that request and has asked BCL Partners to provide transportation to the hearing. It will cost approximately $2,135 for JPO to provide the transportation versus $920.50 for BCL Partners. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS contract with Community Alternatives for homemaker, parenting, anger management, and in-home counseling services. These are the same services as fiscal year 23-24. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 JP contract with Edmund L. Thomas Adolescent Center for detention center services. This is the same service that we contracted for in fiscal year 23-24. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS contract with Genesis Home of New Beginnings for group home services. We have not contracted with this agency before, but we placed a child with them on August 28th. The rate is $350 a day with a cost to the county of approximately $30.24 a day. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS JP contract with George Junior Republic in Pennsylvania for drug and alcohol, diagnostic, intensive supervision unit, residential, secure detention, special needs and therapeutic residence for adolescents. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS contract with Hope's Haven Residential Services, LLC for girls residential. We have not contracted with this agency before, but we have a youth who's currently in shelter who may be placed with this agency in the near future. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYS contract with Youth Advocate Programs for truancy prevention, truancy intervention, and YAP work services. These are the same services that we contracted for in fiscal year 23-24. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 mental health contract with Hand in Hand Mental Health Services, LLC, for the Prospect and Elm Street homes, the Challen Center Psych Rehab, and the SEEDS program. These are the same services that we contracted for in fiscal year 23-24. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 professional contract with Bright Beginnings Therapy Services, LLC, for speech pathology services. Bright Beginnings Therapy Services is a new service provider who will be providing a variety of speech therapy services to our early intervention population as needed. The rates are set by the state. And then I have same rates as prior year contracts, MHIDEI contracts, Center for Family Services for special outreach services of parenting, education, and anger management, Erie Homes for Children and Adults for in-home and community supports and support medical environment, Family Services of Northwest PA for multi-systemic therapy services, PA Connecting Communities for behavioral support, Supports Incorporated for in-home and community supports, base services not otherwise specified, support medical environment, home accessibility adaptations, and admin fees. Youth Advocate Programs for in-home and community supports, companion, habilitation, chore homemaker, and respite services. And then I have professional contracts with counseling and assessment services for intake, initial assessment, medical necessity evaluations, psychological evaluations, neuropsychological evaluations, professional consultation, professional record review, and court appearance. And then finally with Watson Pepicelli for mental health hearing services.
Any questions for Sue? Thank you.
Thank you.
Finance?
Good morning.
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 For your approval, I have the following invoices. The first is to Northwest Commission, it's invoice number 802. It's for the 6th of 2024 broadband study in the amount of $3,029.06. The second is to Community Health Services, it's invoice number 177. It's the fiscal year 2023-24 June trip reimbursement in the amount of $86,976. And the third is to the Northwest Commission. It's invoice number 808. It is the 7 of 2024 broadband study, and the amount is for $3,843.28. Then for ratification, I have the following invoices. The first is to P-CHIP. It's invoice number 184433-0. It's our September 2024 health insurance bill in the amount of $644,950.02. The second is to the Office of Long-Term Living. It's a promise repayment for Crawford County Care Center in the amount of $38,263.47. And the last is to Marnin Sinnott. It's for professional services in the amount of $4,746.
Any questions for Stephanie? Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Sheriff Powers?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Dave.
Dave.
I'm here to ask that we ratify the removal, overhaul, and reinstallation of the transaxle in our 2018 Ford Explorer. For labor and parts, it's estimated at $4,008.44. That should be lower, that's worst case scenario, depending upon what they find when they get in there. And I noticed on the estimate, they also included sales tax, so it'll be lower for sure for that, so. I also have that on there as a budgeted item, but looking at my budget, I don't have that left in my.
You can get with Stephanie and make
That
a
might blow
budget
it up a
adjustment,
little bit,
maybe?
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave? All right, Human Resources? Thank you.
Okay, Human Resources requesting approval of the 2024 Rashini Agreement for reporting and filing of 1095s, and requesting ratification of the payment for the Campbell Durant and Beatty invoice number 74622 in the amount of $4,057.36 for special labor counsel.
Okay. Treasurer and tax claim?
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Kristen.
I'm here to ask for approval of payment of the 2024 tax upset sale ad that is in the Crawford County Legal Journal in the amount of $6,022. This is a budgeted item and is charged to the delinquent tax accounts. Secondly, I'm asking for approval of payment of the 2024 tax upset sale postings and the 2023 notice of claim postings by Palmetto Posting, Inc. in the amount of $66,722.50. This is also a budgeted item and is charged to the delinquent tax accounts. And lastly, I'm asking for approval independent contractor agreement with Nathan Nichols, doing business as Nichols Auctions, to sell properties by auction for the tax upset sale. Contract has been reviewed by Attorney Keith Button.
Call the paper kitty from Nate, that's good. All right, good.
I don't, we just have to get him to sign it now, so.
This time, we get there. Okay, upcoming events, full session will be September 11th. Next work session will be September 18th. Any public comment? Commissioner comments, Commissioner Seeley,
Nothing today.
Commissioner Shell.
I have nothing today. Thank you, sir.
Sounds like a good theme. All right, we'll see you next week.